Welcome back, guys, to Little Paul of Horrors. Little Paul here, Little Paul of Horrors is right here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in. And today I'm going to talk to you about Terrifier 3.
Oh, shit.
What can I say? This movie pushed it to the limits. This movie is violent. This movie is grotesque. It is gory. There is so much blood, so much gore, so much violence, and there is absolutely
Nothing that Damien Leone does not do in this movie.
Now, I am not going to spoil this movie for anyone. What I would like to say is I enjoyed this movie very much. This is an amazing horror movie that scares you and that shocks you. I watched this with one of my very, very good friends. And we were both completely surprised and taken back by the opening scene of this movie. It completely shocked us. Now, I read online and I read titles of certain clips and of certain newspaper clips or reports that were made about people leaving at the beginning of this movie, at the opening scene, or people getting very sick while watching this movie. Now, I did not read any further into it because I didn't want to know. I wanted to walk into this movie not knowing what this whole, I guess you could say, controversial opening was. And it is extremely controversial. It pushes the boundaries, and actually I feel that it actually steps over the boundaries. And I believe that's what Damien Leone was pushing for. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. I would like you guys to go and watch it yourselves and tell me what you think of it, if you would like to, in the comments below. For those individuals who have watched it, please tell me what you thought about the opening and if you thought that it was relevant to the actual story. Because the movie itself, I firmly believe, and this is my personal opinion, that the opening and the particular scene that I'm talking about, or that's being referenced in this opening, didn't need to be done. I don't think it needed to be filmed or to be put into this movie because the movie holds well on its own. It didn't need that. But I believe that the reason why he did it was to give that shock value, to add that shock value to the movie. And the movie is, again, my personal opinion, is so well crafted. The gore it doesn't stop. It just goes and goes. And every single time you watch a scene with gore and a death scene, it's one-upped. Every single time there is a different scene with gore in it, with a killing in it. Damien Leone pushed it, and wow, Art the Clown delivers. And Terrifier 3 does deliver as well. It just was one of the very first films, and I will say that I deem myself to be a person who has a strong constitution when it comes to watching violent and gory movies. And I have 30 plus years of watching horror movies. Terrifier 3 makes Terrifier 2 look like Teletubbies. I'm not kidding. It is really violent, gory, and just bloody and grotesque and just sadistic. It really goes mental. It affected me. And it affected, I think it must have affected some people inside the audience as well. But what's so great about the movie is that you start to understand that this is a story that he's continuously engaging in and expressing on the right screen, and basically, telling us or giving us the journey. There's a journey that you're going through with this movie. The first movie of Terrifier stands on its own, and then the second one comes in and it starts to add all these elements, all the symbolism. And the third one, right in the face. It knocks you in the face with as much symbolism that you can't miss. And on top of that, what it does is that it continues the story and it starts to make so much more sense. Because in the second one, there's a little bit of like, oh, I'm confused. I don't know what's really happening here. I'm trying to decipher what the message is trying to be that Damien is trying to tell us. But in the third one, in the third one, you just have to watch it. It is just, the scenes just melt into each other. And then you remember and you recount the second Terrifier, Terrifier 2, and then it starts to come into focus. And then you realize that there's going to be another one on the horizon, because it has to. Because when you watch the movie, you'll understand. But you start to see the story. Damien Leone is telling us a story.
Yes!
He's engaging the audience in a story. As disgusting and as violent and as grotesque as it is, as stomach churning and turning, and as much as it affects your state of mind, Damien Leone is still telling a story. And he's using a lot of symbolism within it. And the symbolism is very simple. It's good versus evil. It's hell and heaven. It's savior and demon. That's what this movie or these movies are running into. And if it's not a savior, then it's more of a person, of an entity that fights on the right, or on the side of the righteous. And this is the portrayal that you have within the movie by Sienna, who is the main character in the movie, as she is the counter to Art the Clown. And it is so well crafted. And I have to give Damien Leone props and credit for this movie, because as you're watching it, your mind starts going into this. Like, these are installments in a story that he's telling. It's not just a basic franchise where, things happen in one movie and then, okay, different things happen in the second movie that has nothing to do with the first one, or has a few links, like in Friday the 13th, or in, let's say, A Nightmare on Elm Street, right? This is one story that bleeds into the other, because it's a whole huge story that it seems to me that he's telling us. But man, these scenes, oh my God. I shake and shiver just thinking about them. They are so in your face and raw and vicious. It is sadistic. And I use that word as often as I can, because it's the best word that I could use to describe how completely void of any emotion these scenes have inside them. Art goes on a spree, and he's just lifted, the sanctions, and he's just like, whatever. Everyone, everything is fair game. Everyone and everything is fair game. But the story is still there. Now, I suggest, if you've watched this movie, to not spoil it for others who you may know, who have not watched this, who want to watch this. Because when you go watch it, I can honestly tell you, you will be taken back. You will be shocked. It is a movie that shocks the fuck out of you. However, That's what a horror film gore is all about. And he pushes the boundaries, and that's what Damien Leone does in this movie. But again, strong character development, a very strong story. Kill scenes are off the charts. The blood is everywhere. The gore is everywhere. And the story, again, I can't even... I have to just reinforce again, there is a continuity to this. The story itself is still... It's not done. So I'm looking forward to now Terrifier 4. Because Terrifier 4, imagine what's going to happen there. Because this one
blew my mind away.
It just did. So if you are looking for a movie that is going to shock you, that is going to make you almost want to vomit, almost, unless you don't have a strong constitution and you do vomit. If you're looking for a movie that is typical gore horror, but to the extreme, but with a story and a lot of symbolism within it, Damien Leone really, really brings it to you, and he really knocks it out of the park in this movie. He really does. Everything in this movie is well done. Everything. And you would think, a lot of people would say, or some people might say that it's cheesy. No, it's not cheesy. The acting is not cheesy. If you would compare Terrifier 3 to the first Terrifier, there's a big difference. There's a huge leap. It's like you're leaping from a small little mountain found in some, thumbs up. There you go. That one I'll take. It's basically seeing like you're being on top of a mountain, a little hill in some, I don't know, little farm in Nebraska. And you're jumping from there onto a volcano in, I don't know, somewhere in, let's say, I don't know. My geography isn't that great. So let's just say into a volcano. And then from a volcano, from Terrifier 2, you jump into a hurricane, tornado, and volcano all in one in Terrifier 3. Imagine what Terrifier 4 is going to give. So I'm letting you know, be prepared when you go to watch this movie. It is intense. And it's done and made like that for a reason. Now, there will be people out there that are going to find it completely disgusting and appalling and will walk out, and that is their prerogative. And there are other individuals who will not and will stay and watch to see what this is all about. Because at times you have to look past the gore. You have to look past the violence. You have to look past the people screaming who are being decapitated or who are being tortured. You have to look past that. That's dressing, but there's a story behind here. And he's progressing with that story. So please, if you're looking for a Halloween movie, this one is it, folks. This is the one you need to watch. This is Terrifier 3. Damien ain't fucking around. He ain't screwing around anymore. This shit is raw, in your face, sadistic, malicious, crazy ass, violent extremism. That's what this movie is, with an amazing backstory being told. So, with that being said, for those individuals who have watched it, please tell me what you think of my personal commentary and review with regards to this movie. For those individuals who have not watched it, please go watch the movie. And if you would like, and I would like this very much, come back to the channel, leave your comments down below and tell me what you think about this movie or what you thought about this movie. Please like, subscribe, and share. Leave your thumbs up, give a thumbs down, and leave, again, comments. It helps the channel grow. I'm here to, again, inform, entertain, and to engage. And at times I might have personal reviews that people might not like. And sometimes I will have personal reviews that people will like. But again, these are my personal commentary reviews. And again, I am the person who does everything here. So I'm the producer, I am the director, I am the writer, I am the person who goes to watch the movie, I am the person who does the editing, all for your enjoyment and all for the benefit of hearing a perspective, a person's perspective of a movie that they watch with regards to horror, which is my favorite genre of film. So again, I would like to thank you very much for tuning in. And just one note of advice: if at any time on October 31st, any time of that day, or any day as a matter of fact, but particularly this one because October 31st is Halloween and we're talking about Halloween and we're in the month of Halloween, October. If you see any man that comes up to you or walks up to you or sits down next to you and looks like Art the Clown, don't talk. Don't even make that much eye contact. Just get up slowly and walk away. Now, with that being said, enjoy the show.